Uprooted Theatrical Studios presents.
It's 10 Tips Tuesday.
Hey guys, I'm Maddie Hoag, and today I'm going to be giving you 10 tips for auditions and the casting process. Tip number 1, it's always important to remember what type of project you're going in for. A commercial audition is going to look a little bit different than a theatrical audition, and those are going to look a little bit different than a theme park or a cruise line audition, so you want to prepare yourself. Tip number 2, more often than not, casting offices keep binders of resumes from people that they've seen at previous auditions. Just because you weren't right for one part doesn't mean you're not going to be right for another project they have coming up. Tip number 3, remember that your audition starts before you walk in the room. You want to be kind and courteous to everyone that you see before, during, and after your audition. Casting directors are often looking for people with talent, but also the ability to be professional and work well with others and personality. Tip number 4, never show up late to an audition. If you know you're going to be running late, try to get in contact with someone at the audition to let them know so that they can move you and keep seeing other people. But also, it's just nice to be early so that you make sure you're there on time and can be seen. Tip number 5, always make sure you leave the house with your headshot and resume, and you always want to have a backup. You want to make sure everything is up to date on your resume and that your headshot fits the project you're going in for. Tip number 6, don't prepare last minute for your audition. Odds are you know that you have it coming up, and you're going to do so much better if you're familiar with the material and ready to nail that audition. Tip number 7, always make sure your personality comes out in the audition room. You obviously want to make sure that when you're doing the material, you're in character and presenting the character to the best of your ability to the casting directors and the creative team. But when you walk in and when you leave, you want to make sure that your personality comes through and that they really get to see who you are. Tip number 8, don't bring props or dress in costumes unless it specifically says so. Also make sure your outfit isn't too distracting. It can take away from your audition, and everyone in the room is there to see you and the talent you're bringing. Tip number 9, bring in material that is relevant to what you're auditioning for. You really only need to show a broad range if it's something for an audition like a theme park or a cruise line. Those are kind of more when you want to show off your vocal range if you're bringing in a song, or your acting range if you're doing a monologue or something like that. But if you're auditioning for a specific type of project, you want to bring in a monologue or a song that fits those. And last but not least, tip number 10. Just remember, guys, the casting directors and the creative team sitting behind the tables always want your audition to go well. We always want you to succeed because that just makes our job so much easier, and we love seeing you guys nail auditions. I hope that these tips were helpful for you guys, and I hope that these help you go and nail your next audition.